Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the appointment of a special counsel in the Hunter Biden investigation. All right. The special meet the new boss, same as the old boss, is the headline here. The special counsel is David Weiss, the very Trump U.S. attorney who's been overseeing this investigation for 5 years and was left aboard after Garland took over the Justice Department expressly to prevent any charges of politicization in the oversight of the Hunter Biden investigation. And I think by all accounts, and any reasonable person who knows DOJ would affirm, it's been exactly that. He's had has Weiss unfettered ability to investigate as he's wanted, no interference from the top. And he, in fact, Weiss has made that clear. That's clearly been the case. The length of the investigation itself shows that. But there was, of course, now a whole kind of series of political brawls in Congress involving the Biden plea bargain, which opponents of President Biden who really want to use this to get at him were saying was just too weak. And in particular, there was a whistleblower who had a back and forth with Congress and Jim Jordan alleging that Merrick Garland had been exercising political influence over the Hunter Biden case. It turns out that it was all a misunderstanding on his part, and really, to my mind, left this whistleblower, an agent who was on the case and thought the DOJ went too light on Hunter, with real egg on his face. But here's what happened. They're in a meeting and the issue comes up about whether Weiss, who's part of the department, special counsels are supposed to come from outside the department, but he is part of the department. And the issue comes about his ability to bring cases in another district outside his own of Delaware. And he says, well, I'm not a special attorney. And the whistleblower runs wild with this, hears it as a concession or admission that he is not a special counsel, which of course he isn't, and as a further admission / concession that he can't do things because, not being a special counsel, Merrick Garland can boss him around, and so takes this very thin gossamer read and uses it to allege there has been political interference in the investigation, which Weiss and Garland both expressly disavow. Okay, so that's the notion. A special counsel has sort of generalized powers, can bring things in other parts of the department, has full independence also under the regulations. Weiss has full independence because Garland assured him and the world that he did, and he was good to his assurance. But there was this continuing controversy. So on earlier this week, Weiss said he actually requested, could I have special counsel status that would permit him, if for some reason he wanted to investigate and bring cases across districts, and might in fact suggest that he's planning to, which that's a sort of other headline in itself, and a bad one for Hunter Biden, who might have thought that this had all been put to bed. But he makes that request of Merrick Garland. So Merrick Garland, basically, it seems to me, has no choice. If Weiss would have requested and he'd have said no. Now, why would he have said no? Because you have a special counsel only if there's a conflict of interest. And I think the Department of Justice would be adamant that it is able, without a conflict of interest, to investigate the son of a president and point to other investigations in the past where it has been able to investigate relatives of presidents or other high and mighty people, and could just point to this very investigation where everybody knows, including David Weiss, that there's been full independence. So I think normally the department would say, not a case for a special counsel. We can handle Hunter Biden investigation. But, this is now a case of government by tantrum and the Jim Jordans of the world, and Jim Jordan in particular, getting his way with David Weiss's, acquiescence, or, maybe Weiss wanted the authority, or maybe he just wanted to put the controversy to bed. But once Weiss makes that request, Garland has to grant it. He does. It should shut up the critics. It surely will not. We already have the whistleblower saying that's not enough. It doesn't matter because Garland should never have been involved in the first place. Involved here means that, there wasn't a regulation in place saying he wasn't involved, but of course there was his assurance and the testimony, or the account of everybody involved, that he wasn't. So it probably goes on. Notwithstanding, Garland is forced to do it in a way that strikes me as a symptom of polarized and really meritless politics. But something that Garland had little choice but to do, even if the department, of course, could investigate Biden, and has, without fear or favor or control by, it's fanciful, the notion that Garland, as an appointee of Biden, would somehow put in the fix, and we know he didn't. Still, they get their kind of trophy of a special counsel. Weiss now has that power, and we'll see what it portends for Hunter going forward, who's the human being at the center of this whole political drama. But for now, DOJ can say, nothing more to have to scream about, but it won't stop the screaming. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.